M.C. Escher was on another planet. What makes Escher so fascinating to me is his ability to create believable images of impossible realities with precision and technical virtuosity. He filled his work with optical illusions, infinite spaces, impossible architecture, shifting perspectives, and visual paradoxes that challenge your assumptions about how the world works. The purpose of this series is to explore why the work of certain artists remained powerful generations after it was created. Born in the Netherlands in 1898, Maurits Cornelius Escher became one of the most unique visual thinkers in the history of art. What makes his achievements even more remarkable is that Escher had very little formal mathematical training. His understanding of mathematics was largely visual and intuitive. Yet, mathematicians, scientists, and engineers were drawn to his work because he was able to visualize concepts that were difficult to describe through mathematics alone. Although he worked primarily in lithography and wood engraving, the few mezzotints he did create are considered masterpieces of the medium. One of the concepts that fascinated him throughout his life was tessellation, the repetition of shapes that fit together perfectly without gaps or overlaps. The word comes from the Latin word tessella, meaning a small tile used in ancient mosaics. One of Escher's earliest studies of tessellation featured interlocking reptiles that fit together with astonishing precision. This concept later became the basis for his famous lithograph, Reptiles, in which the creatures appear to crawl out of a flat drawing and enter our three-dimensional world before returning to the page. Escher's fascination with tessellations reached its fullest expression in one of his greatest achievements, Metamorphosis II. It was a monumental woodcut that took him 4 months to create, measuring nearly 13 feet long and printed from 20 wood blocks on 3 joined sheets of paper. The work unfolds like a visual symphony. It begins and ends with the word metamorphos. Their seamlessness and sheer mastery of the medium makes this work his tour de force. Escher's fascination with transformation extended beyond tessellation and into the very nature of reality itself. The most famous example of this concept is Drawing Hands from 1948, where 2 hands are shown drawing each other into existence. It's a simple concept, yet it raises profound questions about creation, perception, and the relationship between illusion and reality. Several of Escher's most famous prints revolve around impossible objects and contradictory spaces. Works such as Relativity, Ascending and Descending, Belvedere, and Waterfall present worlds governed by multiple gravitational directions and conflicting perspectives in ways that defy the law of physics. Escher was also fascinated by the Mobius strip, a half-twisted surface whose ends are joined together. What appears to have 2 sides actually has only one continuous surface. He created several works based on this concept, but perhaps the most famous is his wood engraving Mobius Strip 2, in which a procession of ants marches endlessly across the strip, illustrating an idea that is both mathematically elegant and visually mesmerizing. Because his work didn't fit into any particular category, Escher was largely ignored by the art establishment. He was 70 years old before receiving his first major retrospective exhibition. His work finally gained widespread recognition after being featured in the Scientific American magazine in 1961. Escher's images became cult icons during the psychedelic era of the late 1960s and were frequently reprinted on blacklight posters, which made them look even more unworldly. What has always intrigued me about Escher is that no artist before or since has been able to communicate the physics and mathematics of impossible worlds so convincingly through visual art. They constantly challenge our brains to reconcile what we know with what we see. Escher didn't simply create pictures, he created visual thought experiments. The worlds he imagined are endlessly inventive, masterfully executed, and completely unforgettable. They defy time, space, and reality itself. More than a half a century later, they continue to challenge the way we see the world. If you enjoyed any part of this video, please click like and consider subscribing. I have many other videos in this series where I explore why certain artists continue to resonate across generations. In the meantime, please be safe and be kind. This is Marty. See you next time.